job of getting to know our team, getting to know his teammates, getting to know this system.
Matthew Adams kind of back to normal now that he's on the
I would say so, yeah.
It's practice and it's preseason, but is there some promise to being able to see some of the defensive plays be so explosive so early and getting that kind of look at Jim Schwartz and what he wants to do?
Yeah, I mean, I think, Cam, we've seen it all spring and throughout this summer, and obviously in the games here of an attacking front. We're playing very aggressively up front, playing sound in the back end. It's important for us to continue to stack days like we're doing today.
Good.
Okay, thanks, guys.
You're up.
All right, there you go. That's Coach Stefanski at the podium here at the start of practice. Welcome in, Cleveland Browns Daily. Merely Bo, the great Z. Gibbe is here.
Yeah.
We are outside.
Glad we got your mic up.
Well,
so we could hear you.
We did get it up. We got it up. We're safe. You're safe. So you hear Coach there. We're running down the stretch here. All right, so let's just do it now. Gibbe's not pleased. There was a miscommunication.
Why is he not pleased?
He's not pleased that you and I weren't out here at the start of the show.
It's radio, though.
Now, to be fair, this was not. There was no ill intent.
No.
And I believe that my track record on that is near perfection when it comes to showtime, red light, go.
Yep.
Okay?
Same.
Now,
Bishop,
what I would say
I figured you were stuck in traffic because of this 125 practice.
I was not. No, they were well organized in Berea. I was able to zip in very cleanly. Got right to the park.
Well-oiled machine.
It is. I do every time I pull into the lot. They always look at me, and then I have to say who I am, and it's the same people every day, and I have to say, "It's me."
I'm Bo.
I'm doing the show.
Bo knows.
And then okay, all right, that's fine. A couple days left. Nobody gets hurt. So I had come in, and I was under the impression that this program today that we would be doing would not be out here live at the practice field, but rather indoors. Now,
to be fair, it's been a long time since we've been out here, right? Because we didn't have a weekday practice at all last week. We were in Philly the whole time.
Correct.
So it's been like weeks since
it's been 2
weeks.
2 weeks.
And then the other part of it was
I forgot this was even happening.
There was a miscommunication from the standpoint from my vantage point that there was that I was potentially going to be doing an 11:30 interview, which led to me to believe that was an after practice interview that I would be doing. So in my head now I'm connecting dots. Okay, we're not going to be out there because we had a conversation last week about not being out here at one of the practices.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I assumed it was all of them. Yeah. I assumed to me in my head I thought that meant all of them were inside in the dog bowl. And then I had I'm going to be doing a post game. I was scheduled to do a post game interview at 11:30 today, which was going to have a conflict of interest for me.
Well, you're also scheduled, to be fair, you're also scheduled to do a post practice show at 3:00.
That's true. So this is a long day. You can see how this could be a long day for me.
For
your Uncle Bo.
It actually was for me.
Yeah. So that's how this happened. Now, I hope that you do not wish ill upon me.
You didn't put your I don't think you wanted your voice to be heard.
Your anger is not directed entirely at me, and I hope that you can understand that this was
like some of it to be directed at me.
This was not sabatage. Yeah. I don't want any of it directed at anybody.
Well, it's going to be anyway.
This was an innocent mistake by all.
No matter what.
I think it was an innocent mistake by all.
And here's the best part, is that the show opened with Kevin Stefanski live at the podium. So
it didn't. I held it for 2 minutes.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah.
2 full minutes?
What did you do?
Yeah,
give me a
talk
clock.
about what was coming on the show today.
Can we hear it?
I asked Jeff Phelps if he wanted to come co-host because I didn't know where my co-hosts were.
Our co-hosts were inside.
Hold on, my only question is, all right, this is even better.
We went early because Coach, they adjusted it, and Coach was coming at 1 o'clock instead
3
of
minutes.
12:55.
So at 12:56, when you said 3 minutes, you meant like 3 minutes, like come out here. Not we're getting ready 3 minutes. And he goes, and I was in there thinking, I'm going to wear many hats. I'm going to wear a Big B broadcaster hat, and I'm also going to wear a Big E engineer hat. So I got up out of my seat. I got us connected. I thought you'd be very proud of that kind of ingenuity. We're connected. We were feeling great about it. Yeah.
So I got a text from you at 12:58 live now. That was the first. And so I thought you meant
and that's
we're taking audio.
I'm taking responsibility for that because we got the schedule adjusted at like 12:47.
Okay.
So I was like, okay.
I was wondering where you were.
Like, well, they'll be down here at least.
I was
Even if-
wondering where Gibbe was.
I was too.
Even
I
if Bo isn't here,
Where-
I figured Nathan would be down here. We'd be ready to go.
Where's Gibby? Where are the Stevies? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Where's the show? How are we not connected?
Where- I was
And at one
wondering
point, so
what-
you text and when you texted, you go, we're live, and I go, I don't hear anything. What does he mean?
So I went and connected.
So
us,
Zeke
and then we
connected
were
us.
there.
We're like, okay, we're back, baby. I don't know where
So
Gibby
that
is.
was a good
post-practice sound. I don't know what's
It
going
worked
on.
out. It was a good drill for both of us. It was a good drill for you to be on the air. I mean, you're tremendous. People love your voice. So they got 2
The
minutes.
BPA.
They got 2 minutes of heaven. It was like they got a BPA for 2 minutes, which they loved. And then on our side of it, we're problem solving in real time,
Yeah,
engineering,
MacGyvering
getting
it.
connected, like doing things
Yeah,
that people
I
would
agree.
think would be beyond our capabilities. And yet, under the heat of the moment, when it says we're live, we got live.
And I think because of our versatility, we
Yeah.
thrived. Everybody
That's
thrived.
Yeah.
That's a win for everybody.
That is
right
a win.
there, kids.
Look at Griff. Griff knows it.
Griff knows it. Big win out of Griff.
He can't even.
Sure.
It's hard for him to stay this close to greatness. He's like, I got to back up.
Give
There's
a-
too much
give a
greatness.
step, take a step back.
Yeah, I don't want to be.
Yeah.
I don't want to be knocked over by that greatness wall.
That's right. So here we go. We're at training camp.
We made him smile.
Well, that's good.
It is,
It was a
good.
natural misunderstanding. There wasn't
It is
any.
good.
There was nothing malicious or.
No,
There was
no.
no intent
Nobody's
to
trying to
derail
shirk
or
response. I was even.
No one's a
I was,
saboteur.
I was in there grinding the whole time anyway. It's game week already. It's a Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's time to get back at it. You know,
Knocking things out. Knocking
yeah.
things out. That's the
That's
way
right.
that goes. Can I say this?
you can say anything.
Thanks.
think.
I feel like I've
within
established
reason.
that. Yeah, within reason. This is. I understand why this is happening, but it's odd with training camp this far into August.
Yes.
And so usually this stuff is done. This to me feels like a late July, early August. This does not feel like, what is today, the 23rd?
yeah, dude, it's almost September, brother.
Yeah, like the idea that there are fans out. I know why it is because we Greenbrier, we did Philly. I
Yep,
get it.
yep.
And you're doing what's right by your fans on this, but it's a strange feel to be out here at a training camp practice.
It is very strange, and to be honest with you, you know, as to your point, a lot of kids in school. My kids started school
Yeah.
today. El Boods and Andrea back at it for eighth
Where's
grade and
Buckets?
sophomore years.
Sophomore for
Sophomore,
buckets.
yeah.
And Boods is
Eighth grade.
the big dude on campus.
Eighth grade.
Eighth grade. You're
Yeah.
running things.
He's running that middle school. You know
There's
it.
no bigger dichotomy of running things and then the lowest of the pecking order
Yeah.
than a male boy eighth grader to a male boy freshman.
Oh yeah, totally.
That's off a cliff fall.
It's kind of like I imagine what some of our young guys feel like who come from being like, for example, Rocket Hickman coming from being a star at Ohio State, and then now you're an undrafted free agent trying to make your way in. So maybe it is though. You're right, and it doesn't happen both ways. And I'm glad that you limited it to just the boys because
Quite the opposite.
yeah,
on
right.
the other side.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. No, that's the I don't even know what's the worst time to be. I mean, I don't
I don't know.
like
I
the
don't
worst
have
time
the
to be a
experience.
girl, but like that summer going into freshman year as a boy, that's rough. That's an anxiety, brother, right there heading into that thing.
I don't remember. The one thing I had going for me at that time was just like sports. So like that whole summer was like
It helps.
I was with all the guys that I had met from the various schools in eighth grade that we played against each other. Now we were all like joining forces for a
Sure.
common good, and so I
But
at
weren't
least
like
went
the-
in with it with a bunch of friends.
Yeah, for sure, but weren't like the senior dudes. Like they come for you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, they're coming for
the
you.
juniors were the worst.
Oh, it was seniors for me, for sure.
Sophomores
They came
were
hard.
like
they were just
they were just happy to
experienced
get
it.
through it.
They were just
so they were moving up.
yeah.
and it
it's
was
not
happy
them
it wasn't
anymore.
them.
Yeah,
Juniors, I think, were like
yeah. For me, it was the seniors. They were rough, brutal. So this will not be like we're on to the Bengals.
yeah, we are
Kind
on to
of,
the
right?
Bengals. Yeah, this is quote unquote training camp still, but yeah, we're definitely on to the Bengals, and you can see from the guys out there today, it looks like, you know, Joel Bitonio's getting a veteran day off. It would appear. It doesn't. I don't see pads. It looks like shorts and shells
there's-
maybe today. So
It's like hats only
Yeah,
to me.
today-
So today is what a Wednesday would
Right.
be in season.
We're
So
in
this
like
is like install day.
Yep, today's like a real week. We're on the real schedule. So
Is this install Cincinnati or install Kansas City?
everything at this point's for
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Okay.
You may do a few things for Kansas City for those few scripted plays at the beginning, but for the most part, everything you're doing now is geared towards September the 10th and the Cincinnati Bengals in the opener.
Okay. Yeah.
One thing I just wanted to bring it up real quick is kind of a scene setter, because one of the biggest news stories around the Browns over the last 24, 48 hours. Have you seen the restructuring of Joel Bitonio?
So this is where I was going with you. I get there. I get there, Coach. You're safe.
I'm safe. All right.
Z.
Yeah.
One of the things that I was probably texted a dozen times. You were probably texted 1,000 times.
Yeah.
What does this mean? Who are we going to get?
I just write back Aaron Donald to all those.
So funny. That's what I said this morning.
Aaron Donald. Everybody's like, "Shut up." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know."
This morning I said that exact same answer. One of the kids on the morning show with me, they were like, "What does this mean?" I got a question. What does this mean? I said it means they're going to go get Aaron Donald.
That's what I said to S, and he's like, "Come on."
Yes. So, we've got a lot of cap space now.
Most in the NFL, about $34 million. It was one of those things like they knew they were going to have to do these restructures now or later. Decided to do them now. 99% that this money is going to be needed in 2024, and that's what it's here for, so that you can then roll it over to 2024 when we've got some ballooning contracts. It also does afford the luxury and the flexibility should you decide, hey, man, screw it. We're going to go make some crazy move like an Aaron Donald. You have the flexibility to do so, but this was done 99% to be able to roll this money over into 2024 when you actually need it. So I want people to have that and understand that that's why this was done. It was something they knew they were going to have to do, so they got it out of the way, and it is being done with the thought behind it being that this money, this $34 million, will carry over to next year when I think currently we're over the cap right now next year significantly. Mm-hmm. Like this would just chip away at that.
Yep.
So that's what I think we're dealing with here.
I would say one thing that you ought to feel pretty comfortable with as a Browns fan is that your front office is looking 2, 3, 5 years in advance. And this operation is currently constructed at the top of it is not going to be in a position where they are in salary cap jail. And they will do whatever is necessary to make sure that they're not. Now, that only works if you have ownership that is also willing to do that. Because what you're doing is you're transferring into guaranteed money in the immediate. And so that takes ownership's buy-in as well, and you have that in spades here. So that's the thing that you ought to feel very fortunate about. That can you control every draft pick you get being a star? No, but if you what you can control is being good at business.
Yep.
And we are very good at business under this regime.
I'm glad you pointed out two things. Number one, how good and how smart and how forward-thinking our front office is to be able to move things around, restructure these deals, work with our players, make deals that allow us to go get guys like Za'Darius Smith, because that was a very complex deal beyond what people think about. Oh, it was just the picks. No, there was a lot of economic complexities involved in that deal. And the Browns actually felt, I was told that, there were only a handful of teams they could have done that trade with that would have also kind of gotten what they were doing, and obviously Kwesi coming from here was certainly one of those teams that was able to do that with them. So they're very forward-thinking. We are very fortunate in that regard. We are also incredibly fortunate, and I think it's about time that the Haslams get their due, to the point you just made. They are willing to spend money, and we are very lucky we have owners that have very deep pockets, that have done very well for themselves, but that are also willing to spend. And when I say that, these aren't fake numbers. Over the last 2 years, here is cash spending in the NFL. This is cash. The league average is $410 million of cash spending.
Yep.
The Cleveland Browns, $516 million. Mm-hmm. That's number one. Number two, the Jags, $468. So we're talking $50 million above everybody else in the NFL, above anybody else in the NFL, is the cash that they've been willing to put into this team, and they're currently in the lead for 2023. That was 2021, 2022, those numbers I gave you. Currently in the lead to do that again this year. So this is one of the ways that they're able to do this is with the cash, is because the owner is willing to do it, and that gives them a lot more salary cap flexibility where they can convert things into bonuses that need to be paid immediately and all of that. So that is one of the things that are very smart. For example, take Dalvin Tomlinson's deal this year. And this is some of the stuff I'm getting from, got to give shout out to the Orange and Brown Report, because they had a guy who broke all this down really, really well. the way that they structured Dalvin Tomlinson's contract was in 2023, he actually is getting $16 million of cash, but only counts $4 million against the salary cap. So you have an owner who was willing to put out extra money for cash that benefits the salary cap and the overall structure of the team. So that is an awesome thing that you don't see everywhere, and you certainly don't see that everywhere in the league, and that you see from the Browns. So one of the things, and the Haslam will be the first to say, we've had some bumps in the road. They will do whatever it takes to win, and they will pay whatever it takes to win. They are doing everything from their standpoint that they can to empower the people that they have hired and give them every possible resource.
There's no such thing as a sure thing when it comes to evaluating a player. There's no such thing as sure thing when it comes to evaluating somebody through the draft, through free agency, through trades. There's no way of knowing absolutely that any of this stuff is going to work. But what I think is most important is the last point you made, and that is a willingness to try anything to try to land the plane here. And that is the relentlessness of it all is such a tremendous thing. And that's what allows for it. And so, I think this is at the very top, when you think about the decision makers at the top, whether it's Paul or AB or everybody who's working on that side of the operation, you want to be nimble.
Yes.
So this is 99% about next year and trying to find flexibility and making sure you're not in cap jail a year from now. It's that, but it's also, if there is opportunity, you can go.
It's also, yes, there is that standpoint.
You never know.
But it's also, right, you give yourself the ability to outspend the competition. You give yourself the ability to be incredibly flexible. And you also put yourself, and I'd kind of call it like it's a little bit of insurance money, right? So that one injury to a position other than quarterback does not derail what you're trying to do, that you would be able to make a move to deal with the loss of one or more key players as well. But I think the reality is this money is most likely going to be going into 2024 when the Browns need it the most, as you eloquently pointed out. Great job getting there, great job leading there, great comments in addition to your Big B leading.
This is why we work.
This is why
why the operation works. That's
right.
how it all sorts itself out.
That's why Gibbe is often during shows sipping pina coladas, has his feet up, because he has
relaxing.
nothing to worry about.
Nothing to worry about.
Nothing to worry about here.
No, from 1 to 3.
Couple of pros.
Plug in, look out.
Yep.
That's it. Everybody takes
Doesn't
care
even
of
need to be in the same location as us sometimes.
Be anywhere you like to
be. He can be anywhere he wants.
Anywhere you like
Today
to be.
he was outside in the sun near the beach.
That's right.
There's the sand beach volleyball set up by where Gibbe was hanging out.
Did you play some beach volleyball as a youth, Gibbe?
I did.
I bet you did.
I played at BG. I played on the club team.
I bet you did. Bet they saw that drink of water walk into BG and said, "We got a spot for you, Karch."
It was good. It was good. It was a lot of fun.
Steve
I love playing
Timmons
beach
guy.
volleyball.
Yeah, you were a net
St.
man.
John Smith.
Yeah. Two-man? Did you play two-man?
No,
you got to be able to do
no.
everything in two-man.
Yeah,
I don't want to do
I
all
could
that.
not do that.
You got to be a five-tool player. You got to be able to set it. You got to be able to bump it. You got to be able to spike it. You got to be
very
able
average at
to
most
serve
of
it,
those.
and then you got
I
to be
doubt
able
that.
to stop the spikes and dig. So maybe you need to be a six-tool player. You need to do everything.
What's the ideal count for beach volleyball? On a
I
regular,
like a five,
a 5?
a fiver.
Yeah,
Two front,
fiver.
two back, one guy in the middle who can float up, then be your setter.
Okay. You like that size? All right, very good. We are
Six
stretching.
is too much.
6 is too much. I could go 4.
Four's fine. I could
I
even
think
go
4 is
3.
good because then you're running. I could do 3 too because then you got 1 up, 2 back.
Yep.
And you cover. You can fly.
Yep.
You kind of
Yep.
That's
Triangulate.
possible. You got to. That's kind of like the pickleball revolution that's going on right now. It's such an easy sport to pick up and play that it's kind of sweeping the nation. What they're finding is that nobody wants to watch it on television, which you could have told anybody that was just not going to work on TV. But that doesn't mean that it's not a really fun sport to play.
I've never
But when-
played it. I've never hit a.
You'd pick it up in a second and a half. It's a wiffle ball. It's a win. The thing that's interesting about it though is the 2-on-2 pickleball. There's not a lot of movement to, but if you play 1-on-1,
Then you're moving.
now you got a little workout.
Get a little workout in there. Got it. I got it.
That's the way that goes. We'll continue to have observations very early in the camp practice day. The guys just stretching over there. We'll have observations of those over the course of the next hour and a half. Those are the hot topics of the day presented by Vivid Seats. Head to Vivid Seats. Purchase brand new Premium Terrace Experience. Your tickets come with a pregame field pass parking, all-inclusive food and beverage, $50 Browns gift shop card. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, official fan experience partner of your Cleveland Browns. We're off and running. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Hello here from my team at Renew Home Exteriors, now introducing new Ascend composite clad siding featuring a beautiful deep grain look. 20 available colors. Keep that just installed look for a lifetime with this low maintenance siding. Plus, with Renew's price match guarantee, you can be assured you've received the best price for your exterior project, even after you buy. Renew Home Exteriors, superior products, superior service. Visit renewestimates.com for more. Training camp practice underway out here. Guys getting a little bit loose. Some stretching, a little bit of running. I see. All right, let's just set the table. Who's here and who's not, or who's dressed and who's not? I thought I saw Schwartz not. It appeared, or maybe I missed it. I thought I saw him kind of walking around. It's hard though because they're not in anything. They're just in hats.
Yeah, they're in hats. I think they're maybe in shells, but yeah, Schwartz is not practicing. It does not appear. It looks like Joel Bitonio got a vet day, as he's kind of just standing around. I'm trying to see over on the side if you can see people over there, but I can't. They haven't had that kind of group out here
Yeah.
in Berea. Well, we heard Coach say Jalen Darden is not practicing, although he's kind of going through these warm-ups right now. I see Jalen Darden in these warm-ups.
You see him out there. You see
See the offensive line really taking these sprints seriously.
really getting after it, aren't they? It's just sorting it out a little bit.
Yeah, so no Bitonio. Looks like everybody else on the offensive line. Conklin's out there. Everybody else that you want to see. And then no, yeah, you said Schwartz. Looks like everybody else is out there.
Everyone else
though.
looks like they're good. They're in the
Yeah.
mix.
Yeah, and you want to see Jakeem Grant. That's somebody that one of the things that I really want to watch in this week and then even against the Chiefs is Jakeem Grant, because right now, you're thinking about putting him on the team as a specialist, basically, as a returner. I mean, that really is his function. He's got 1,000 yards receiving in his career, so maybe you're going to get something out of him there. But for the most part, that's what you're doing. And in fact, as we're looking out right now, I don't even see him in line to be doing the wide receiver drills.
Jakeem.
Yeah, and it doesn't.
I did see him running. He's over there, way down at that end, returning a punt.
All right, so they're doing punt and return, so
Yeah, he's
that's why
back
he's
over
doing
there.
that.
Yeah.
So, like I said, if he makes it, he's making it basically as a specialist. And I was talking with somebody.
So that's him and Felton down there. DPJ's down there. And then who is that? I'm trying to see. If
that
there's
Elijah
DPJ's
Moore?
going that might be Elijah. Yeah.
Elijah Moore's down there as well, number 8.
Go ahead.
One of the things that I think is really interesting about putting together this final 53-man roster is this, and I'm going to run this by you.
All right,
Because this
I
is
like
somebody said this to me. I'd never heard it articulated this way, and I thought it was really interesting. You're not some people, I think of putting together the 53-man roster as trying to put together the best 53 players for one game.
Yeah, right.
And so that would afford you the luxury of having a bunch of guys on your roster, for example, that are just purely special teams guys, but wouldn't make your team if they had to play their position.
Right.
But when you're creating a roster that's actually for a football season,
Yep.
you don't necessarily have those luxuries, because it is likely, unfortunately, due to the nature of this game, that at some point you're going to need them to play the position that they occupy on your roster.
Yeah.
And so the notion that you can have, 6 guys on your team just because they're special team studs,
No.
but wouldn't play for you at their natural position, I think that might be one of the fallacies that we're grappling with here, and one of the things that may change ultimately what this roster looks like. And I think we got a hint. I don't know if it was a hint or not for the roster, but I'll take it as a little bit of a hint. But the fact that we saw, DeJuan playing left tackle and James Hudson playing some guard
Yep.
in practice, and I talked to DeJuan about it today, and he goes, I haven't done that since maybe high school or junior high, as in playing left tackle.
Yeah, he's been right tackle forever.
And he was not as pleased with how it went, although on tape he looked fine, but I think that it just probably felt very unnatural to him. And I think James Hudson did a good job at guard, but that's trying, I think, in my mind, let's try to get some roster flexibility here, and maybe in that offensive line room where you don't have to keep a traditional guard if, Hudson can slide in there, if Harris can slide in there, or knowing that it's probably more likely that we will get one of, Drew Forbes, if he's healthy, Michael Dunn, Wes Martin, Colby Gossett. One of those 4 will be – they're not all getting signed on to 53, so one would be able to be on our practice squad, which means they're basically on our roster, and they could be up for game day. So I think there's a lot of stuff to move around, but that notion of trying to put together the ultimate 53 for one game versus 53 for a course of a season, and I thought that was it was such an obvious comment, but it was one that I'd never heard phrased that way, where I was like, you know what? That's actually that's spot on.
Do that conversation with let's use Jakeem Grant, okay? So now at his best, he was elite.
The best.
At what he did.
Yep.
Elite. So if he can get back to that, then the risk reward of that is, hey,
he can win you a game.
That can win us a game, and
Yep.
he's only doing this, and that's okay. In a pinch, could he play receiver?
Yes.
Yes, but it's mostly for that. In an ideal situation, I think the simplest for the folks out there, you are looking at linebackers, wide receivers, and running backs. I mean, these are all the specialists, right?
Yep.
You're not looking at gunners and this. You will take a guy who is this, and if he can turn into this, and make the best out of it. In other words, you want them best at their position.
Correct. Correct. And I think that's where, some guys that, Matthew Adams, for example, who we haven't seen, who we know is one of the best special teams players in the league, would the Browns feel comfortable putting him out there at linebacker? If the answer to that is yes, then I think he's 100% on the roster. If the answer to that's no, with the way that Diabate's played, with you got Kunashik, Awak and Tackle play special teams, then maybe that changes the calculus in that room.
Right.
Same thing in the cornerback room. I think Cam Mitchell is clearly your fifth cornerback. So the question then becomes, Mike Ford, who was brought here for special teams prowess, is he so good at special teams, A, and B, is he somebody that if we need to trot out against the Cincinnati Bengals and play corner, that they have confidence that he can do that? And if the answer to both of those is yes, then he makes the team. If the answer is to, one of those two is no, then he doesn't make the team. So I think those are, and that's where we all know the pressure points are. It's funny, when you think about this roster, normally this time of year, you're scouring the waiver wire, you're scouring cut downs to try to find, and fill those guys in. We are so deep. There are, on the defensive side of the ball, I know for a fact that we have more defensive ends that we feel are 53 quality than we'll be able to keep. We have more safeties that we feel are 53 quality than we'll be able to keep. We have more corners that are 53 quality we'll be able to keep, and more in the linebacking room. So then you flip it around the offense, they feel the same way about all of the positions except one, which is running back, which is the one thing that, we expect them to continue to monitor, and maybe that's where we find a new third running back. I liked what I saw from Jordan Wilkins, but
he's got a little pop.
There's not a whole lot of work to be done on this roster. It's going to be a paring down, and it's going to be a paring down in what they think is the best for a season, not just one game. And so I think it leads to interesting decisions, interesting calculations. And, part of it, too, is, if you have a guy here on a one-year deal, if you have somebody that's in your building for the next 3 years and they're about the same, you're probably going to go with the guy that's going to be here, that you have a chance to really develop, and is probably a cheaper option at that point. So there's a lot that's going to happen, I think, in this next week that is going to be really fascinating, because these 90, in the blink of an eye, are going to be 53. And now you're going to get practice squad guys, so you'll be right around, like 70 total. But that's a big change of people that are in your program and then no longer in your program.
It is 3D chess, putting a roster together.
Yep.
It's several different planes you're playing on at once. And so it isn't as straightforward as you would lead to believe, or maybe that you thought was probably the better way to phrase it. The other thing, all of that to be said, this roster is going to come down to a couple of spots. Like, there are so many locked in. It might not be it. I feel very confident with what we did last Friday when we did like the positional breakdowns per room.
Yep.
I think that holds up very well.
100%.
The names might be a little, but not much. I don't think. I think it's a couple of spots here and there.
Agreed. I think defensive tackle might be the only room where there's a true competition between a couple of guys for one spot.
Yeah.
Some of the others are going to be linebacker. You could say that as well with the way Diabate's played. But, it's going to be more of, okay, we keep 5 safeties. Well, that means we can only keep 5 corners. Or we keep 6 corners, we can only keep 4 safeties. If we keep, 5 linebackers, maybe we can keep 11 DBs.
Yeah.
How many you keep I think that's going to shape a lot of the answers. How many are kept in various rooms is going to have a great impact on what this ultimate 53 looks like. And then I think that goes back to, it's going to come down to special teams prowess, special teams ability, but also how they feel about you in the event that you've got to play at some point. And that's where a guy to me, the guy who's helped himself the most with what they've done this offseason was Jordan Kunashik, because he was clearly a plus special teams guy, but he busted his butt so much at linebacker that in Tarv's mind, he's maybe our most reliable, dependable linebacker. So if that's the case, that certainly helps a guy like that make your roster.
You imagine that, like what had to be done between spring and now for Kunashik to get to the point that he's in, the work that had to go into where now, we've seen it a lot throughout camp where he's running with the ones, like he's out there doing. I mean, that's a tremendous to go from that standing. That's personal accountability. And guess what else that is? That's trust.
Yes.
You know why Tarv loves him? Because he can trust him.
That's exactly right. That's what a coach wants. A coach wants consistency and the ability to trust that you will be in your position that you're supposed to be and doing the job that you're supposed to be doing. We're watching right now.
Gibby Uber eats some Tito's, it looks like.
It looked like he did bring
Coming
a little
for
bit
you.
over there.
A couple of bottles coming your way, Gibby.
And right in front of us, that sound you're hearing is the running backs working on the blocking sled.
Yeah.
And so far, I would say that there's Nick Chubb power is in its own class. I think Wilkins was number 2 in terms of his ability to move that sled there.
I don't often feel sorry
Was
for
he the first one to go?
No, that was John Kelly.
John Kelly looked like he gave it a nice little run.
I don't often feel sorry for foam padding and steel,
Yeah.
but when Nick Chubb hits this thing, I do a little.
Yeah, it's because you're an empath.
I know. A lot of love in
It's
my
one of
heart.
the things that's beautiful about you.
Yeah, I have a lot of love, a lot of understanding,
Yeah.
even for the inanimate.
Even for those without feelings.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where you're at. That's what you got going on out here. Still very much in the positional warm-up phase. Yeesh. Oh, jeez. How much? Your middle linebacker, he's coming through the hole full speed. 32 dive. Give me the number.
To get in his way?
Yeah, you can be padded. To attempt to tackle. Oklahoma drill. You, Nick Chubb, what's the number?
$1 million?
I think that's the jumping off point.
I mean, I'll most likely live.
You would. Yeah.
So, yeah, that feels like a good number.
That feels like a number.
It feels like that could afford
I mean, it
some
could
fun.
do permanent damage.
Now, I also
where men
have
were
no
40, like it could do permanent
I
damage.
would have no problem. Like, do I have to complete this in a satisfactory manner, or could I just like kind of go and then just kind of roll down and hope that he trips on me?
No, I think you have to you have to attempt to Oklahoma drill it. Yeah, you got to try to form tackle it.
Okay. I mean, I'll
Yeah.
try it.
Yeah. I mean, you're probably looking at a separated shoulder, minimum, broken collarbone. It's not going to go well.
Whoever funds this, I'm in.
Do you think it's more likely you could tackle him in that,
No.
or could you? Is it more likely you could tackle Nick Chubb
No.
over and over the course of an hour once, or make a hole in one on the hole at Pebble Beach in 24 hours?
I mean, I suppose it's possible he could like trip. So like he runs me over, but then like trips on my
Trips
body
on-
and falls
yeah,
down and gets
right.
tackled. I feel like that's possible.
That's
I think
more
I could get
possible than a
hole in one.
scratch
I would
you.
take me. I'd take.
I
my
would
shot.
take you golfing.
That's what I
think.
would take.
I feel
yeah.
like that would be. You're going to make.
I thought you were
one.
going to say like, could I complete a pass?
No,
like that,
I-
I'd have no.
No. I think there's no question that you could. That you'd make a hole in one before you'd be able to tackle Nick Chubb over and over again in an hour.
like, especially if tripping and falling didn't count.
I think anything that brings him to the ground is a win, though. But I think he's Nick Chubb, and it's going to take a lot. It's going to take almost an accident.
Well, and the other thing too is like my ability to do that would have to happen at the very beginning because my body
First
would be
5 reps are the only ones
battered.
You got.
Like, give me the golf club in my hand. I'd
You
feel
might
much
even
better
be,
about
it might actually be smarter to like whiff for the first 20 minutes in hopes of tiring
try
him,
to get him tired.
and then maybe you could get him later. So that's possible as
No.
well. We will go around the NFL coming up next. Keep painting the picture for you out here at training camp. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. $12 million is.
That's right.
Not
a small number.
The people in charge of where the money was supposed to be were his dad.
Yeah, it's
That's brutal.
the firm that his dad and his brother work at, right?
Yeah. So this is not that just makes me so sad when that's happened. There was a Blue Jacket player I covered named Jack Johnson, whose folks and he was like number 3 pick in the NHL draft. Like he'd made like $40-50 million in the league, and his parents basically lost all of it in Southern California to the point where he had to start from scratch.
That's awful.
And at that point, he was late into his career, and at that point in your career, you're just not going to be able to stack it like you can at the beginning of your career.
Right.
So sad stuff there. As for on the field, I don't get this in any way. I don't understand it.
I mean, obviously in their mind, they feel like he was that much better than Trask, although Trask played very well last week. I think he was 20 of 28. And that they must be thinking the NFC is so bad. What's to stop us from winning our division? Like, who's winning that division?
Probably the Saints.
Probably, but I mean, it's not like you're like, oh man, they're gangbusters. The
No.
Panthers aren't gangbusters. The Falcons might be the surprise team that is one of those, better regular season teams than they are postseason, where they could take their kind of unique attack on the road and zig when everybody's zagging, but that's not going to get them anywhere of consequence. But my guess is that the Bucs think they still have a lot of stars on that team that maybe they can do it, and Baker gives them the best chance to do that.
Two things. One, were you aware that the AFC South plays the NFC South this year?
That's going to be some – there's going to
I
be
mean, that's a steady diet of Andrew Catalon and Solomon Wilcots heading straight to the south of this country, broadcasting those games. That's a little Adam Archuleta for you.
Yeah.
See, that's problematic, though,
Spiro.
because that's how you
Spiro.
end up with one of those teams in the AFC all of a sudden vying for a playoff spot. Because they're
One of them is going to host a game.
Yeah, one of them hosting
It'll
a
be
game.
it'll be Jacksonville,
Jags,
so
who are
they'll
legit.
Jacksonville could win 11 games
fine,
this year, or
but
12.
Is someone else going to come out of nowhere because they're playing that?
Problem is that makes like Tennessee possible to.
That's
It
what I
does.
mean.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the same thing from the NFC side of it. They're thinking the same thing. Hell, 2 of us could make the postseason.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's that part of it's brutal. I think that 2 things that I'm curious about. Like they made like a big deal about Naaman Bake, the starter, and I'm happy for him that he won the job. But this is probably the last time that you could make a big deal about him being named the starter. Like wherever he goes from here.
This is his 4th team.
I'm aware, buddy. The other thing, and I said this years ago about him, and at the time it certainly was not meant as slight. It was taken that way. He is a tremendous front runner. Now that can be really positive. When things are going well and he feels like there is belief in him and he believes in teammates, and he's everything that John Dorsey liked in the draft from the standpoint of Pied Piper and people follow him and he's fun in the locker room. He's clever. He's quick. He's all of those things. People like him. Teammates like him until they don't.
Right.
And then it's gone, and that's when I saw front runner. When you go off the cliff with that, it's point of no return. We saw that here, and we saw that in Carolina.
Well, he's going to have a locker room that has people that have won Super Bowls, a locker room of very established players.
Yeah.
So he's going to, I think in that case, he's going to have to kind of fit in. It's not like he's brought in to be the savior there. He's obviously following Tom Brady. That's not easy to do. And you got a guy like Mike Evans who is the only player ever to start their career with 9 straight 1,000-yard seasons. There's a little bit of responsibility, I think, that comes with making sure that gets to 10 straight seasons.
I agree. Yeah.
So the good news is you got Evans, you got Godwin. You've got a defense that has a lot of names that people know. So I think they have a chance, and hopefully he comes out and he can play well. If he does, great. If he doesn't, that's probably it. But we've seen flashes from. We know he can be. I mean, that second half of 2020 when he had 20 touchdowns, 2 picks.
Yeah, he was
through
awesome.
the playoffs. He was great.
He really was. The Colts are letting Jonathan Taylor seek a trade. That escalated quickly from a few innocuous comments at the start of camp to "I'm gone" to "Go ahead, look for a trade."
Who's going to do that?
I was talking to a Colts guy this morning who was telling me that they want a 1, and I'm like, well, fantastic.
Well, you have to give up
All
a
the
1,
best of luck.
and you have to pay him.
Yeah, so
Who's going to do that?
at least, you have to redo the contract and you have to pay him. I think it would be more likely that they would get something in the lines of what the Carolina got for McCaffrey. But it's going to have to be a contender. It's going to have to be a team that feels like they're a player away. And it's going to have to be somebody that it's possible, though, that he he's seen the writing on the wall at the running back position, and maybe he won't seek to reset the market and rather just play somewhere else.
Yeah.
What is there any team that seems like a no-brainer?
No. The only thing I can think is if you take a team that's got like an aging running back that they're going to have to pay, that they would say, we'll just give you our aging guy and a draft pick, and you give us the younger version of him.
I think the top
But I don't
5
know.
places right now, according to our friends in Vegas,
Okay.
are like Miami #1. I think the Bears are in the top 5. The Bills are in the top
Bears.
5. Yeah,
I think they're just trying to link running backs to the Bills.
I think
Bills
so
like
too.
James Cook, and they have Damian Harris, who's a perfect power back. Like
Yeah,
they have a
the Bears were like #3 on
they have
that
a good
list.
little setup.
Who did the Bears have running it?
It's not Montgomery anymore.
No, he's with Detroit.
Nick Chubb's running it for us. This is first team period. This is ones-on-ones over there. It looks like anyway. And Nick Chubb with a big run up the middle for those kind of keeping track
Yeah,
of.
to be fair, they're not trying to tackle
They
him.
are not trying to tackle. It looks like for the defense, looked like Kunashik was out there. Jordan Elliott was out there next to Dalvin. I think they're still kind of giving Shelby Harris, working him back in. It's hard to see, though. They're very far from us, and then people are inconveniently standing between us and the play.
You hate to see that. I feel like there could be some more consideration.
You would think. Well, that's what we got next year, up top. Looks like
That's where
a
it's
false
at.
start. Free play for the offense. Watson scrambling out, rolling right, throwing. Incomplete, but a flag on Myles Garrett, it appeared.
A little bit of a quick start.
A little bit of a quick start. So it'll be, it's going to be very difficult. Let's just be perfectly upfront for us to give anybody any kind of insight into what's going
Yeah,
on.
but today's not the day.
Yeah,
there's going to be a little bit today.
no
but
no pads anyway. He's safe.
Tomorrow
we can't tell
is
you.
the big day.
Cade York is kicking right in front of us.
Yes, he is.
Good.
Well, what was that? A 17-yarder,
20, 25.
25-yarder. I mean, it feels like he's 8 feet away from it.
All I said was good. I just said
It's fact. Yeah. I just like telling people. I mean, we need accuracy here and all reporting. So that one was good as well. So
So do they have to get this done by August 29th for Taylor? Like Stephen Holder tweeted out today. He said, this is perhaps obvious, but regarding Jonathan Taylor, next Tuesday, August 29th, a key date regardless of what happens on the trade front. Final roster cuts mean players on the active/pup list must either be activated or moved to reserve/pup and miss 4 weeks. So, I mean, Indianapolis, like if he's not traded, do they have to,
well,
I don't know why you wouldn't make him active and tell him he's got to play.
yeah, that's what I would do, and then just find him if he doesn't.
Right.
I think that's probably what you do. I mean, he's got a contract. He's under contract. Yeah, I think the hard part is just like when you do like Gibbe, you gave the list of teams, like try to find a suitor.
Right. That makes sense. And that's willing to pay the price.
And whatever that may be.
Like in Miami, I could see them like it, but that system has always they get Mostert plays well with them. Jeff Wilson plays well with them.
They've never paid a premium for running backs.
Certainly not one that is not like McCaffrey is different because of the way that he catches the football, right?
Yeah,
so
correct.
that makes him a little bit different.
So, according to the people in Vegas, Dolphins 1, Bears 2, Bills 3, Ravens 4, Broncos and Cowboys both 5, Commanders 6, Bucks and Vikings 7, and Eagles 8.
Yeah, like
I could see Denver with Javonte coming back and Sean wanting to go right away and giving Russ help.
I don't know.
I could
they
see
don't
that.
have they don't have the ammo. They gave it all up for Russ.
No, but you're not going to have to get a 1. No one's giving up a 1. Like you could do a 2.
Last year,
I
but
think what was the McCaffrey? It was a 2, a 3, a 4.
it ended up being a net. Yeah, like netted out to being a 1. Whatever.
Right, but it was you could do something like that where it's a balance throughout. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 WKNR Cleveland, a good Karma brand station. So that's kind of that's probably the way that thing sorts itself out. But yeah, there's a little bit of a time crunch in terms of if it'll get done or not. It feels like it's gotten very personal with the ownership and with the operation over there between ownership and Jonathan Taylor. So we'll see how all that goes. All right, coming up. Go
Did
ahead.
you see
Lamar,
the
go ahead.
news? Yeah, we can
What do we
just
got?
keep going.
All right, very
Find
good.
Jackson Smith and Jigba having surgery today
I did.
to repair a broken bone in his wrist.
Yeah, but it sounds like he is still optimistic he'll play the opener.
Yes.
So obviously a very minor surgery there for him. He's a stud.
Yeah.
He is a stud. Like the fact that he wasn't viewed, it was so strange, and I suppose it was just measurables, but like the idea that Jamar Chase was not hampered by missing an entire season in the draft, and he was. And he might not have the toppest end speed,
right,
but it's, God. I mean, neither does Garrett Wilson. That's working out just fine.
Yeah.
It's working out just fine. He is going to be a stud for them. If Geno can play, they have a ton of weapons.
Oh, my God.
They are pretty loaded up
Metcalf,
if he can go a
Lockett.
little bit. Yeah.
So, and then this from ESPN. This is just coming down here in the last couple hours. One person died, another injured when the suburban Charlotte home owned by Tennessee Titans cornerback Caleb Farley exploded overnight. The deceased is his father.
Dad.
God, it's a tragedy. I mean, I don't know how.
This happened in like Pittsburgh last week, but I mean, with no one famous, but like an entire block basically blew up.
I know it.
What is going on?
I don't know why houses are blowing up. That doesn't seem like a normal.
It is not a normal
Occurrence
occurrence. The
for-
one
for that.
in Pittsburgh, it was like a father and a son who are neighbors, I think, that came over to the house. And they still don't – they ruled out any type of foul play or gas or anything. So I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Strange.
Scary times.
Scary.
Scary times, kids. We've got some practicing going on over there on the far field, a little 11-on-11 fun. Again, no pads and a bit away. Cade's backed up. Where's he at now? He's at 20, 30. Is he 40?
It's close to – got to be close to a 50-yarder.
Can't tell.
I think we could. All right, second hour of the program coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Want to experience the 2023 Brown season and some of the best seats in Cleveland Browns Stadium? Visit lecom.edu/Browns for your chance to win 2 field seats for the 2023 season, courtesy of Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine. Sweepstakes ends on August 30th as we have our team out here getting in some work. Kate is way back there now. That's got to be 57, right? Right somewhere in there.
It's a long one, that's for sure.
Yeah, that is deep.
By the way, not practicing today. Tackle Tyrone Wheatley Jr., chest. Cornerback Cam Mitchell, shoulder. Wide receiver Anthony Schwartz, hamstring, working on the side.
And Cam Mitchell he's very much impressed this staff and this front office. I think he's played his way onto this roster for sure, the young man out of Northwestern. Tyrone Wheatley's an interesting one, and perhaps one of the reasons that we got DeJuan at left tackle was not only that, and I don't know did Wheatley practice on Sunday as well? He must have missed Sundays because I don't remember seeing him out there. I saw Kelly out there, and so you wonder, for Wheatley, he's a guy that had looked pretty darn good.
Well, he got dinged up in that little skirmish we had at the Greenbrier, but came back.
Played against Washington well, played against Philly well, and he was somebody that you're starting to think, okay, maybe he could make the team, or he could be somebody that another team with a tackle need maybe comes calling, and you say, hey, can you trade us this for that? There we go.
That was bombed. That was 15 yards up the pole.
Yeah, that was a good one.
From 57.
There's tantalizing talent there with Cade. I mean, that's the thing. The talent is he has the ability to be not just like a kicker in the league. He has the ability to be one of the best kickers in the league for a long time, but you've got to do it. Like,
it's that video is going around of the kick he hit in the swamp in the fog.
Yep.
Is that a 58-yarder to beat Florida? Like the one he had here in the opener last year. Like there's another one bombed.
Yep.
But that's the deal. Like that's why you would just want to get it right.
Yeah.
Because the ceiling is different than the ceiling for most of the other humans out here who have this skill set.
Correct. And I think as we always talk about it being a little bit of a mental type of a game, much like golf is sometimes you got to just let it rip. You can't steer the ball. It's hard to steer the ball on a golf course. It's hard to steer the ball off the foot for a kicker. And so that's one of the things you're going to look for him to do is just let it loose, play free, hit the ball. When he hits it like that.
Yeah, that's 3 in a row that would have been good from 67.
That one would have been good from 67.
Yeah.
With a
bombing him.
There's no doubt he's hitting the ball. He's hitting the ball well. And like honestly, I'm more concerned over 50 yards in the NFL. Yes, he has the ability to a nice ball right there from Deshaun to Amari Cooper on the other field. But he has the ability to make those. But those aren't ones that you count on. You like those. You want to be like 67% from 50
Chef
plus.
extraordinaire.
Oh, Lavelle.
My guy.
Legend. Look at him.
I can't believe that. This pleases me so much.
He
was my guy. My all-time guy.
He had Chef trotting out a white wine rabbit sausage today. Look at Nick.
I got to share something with Nick
Look
too.
at him. Yeah.
I got something I got to share with him.
What's
with
that?
His proclivity for
bourbon.
For the whiskey. Yeah, for
baby.
the bourbon. Yeah. I got to give him a pointer or two. It's kind of been a bit of a game changer.
Oh my.
Yeah. So so Lavelle. Yeah, Lavelle was a big deal. That was a big deal here.
The rabbit sausage. Yeah, we're trying a lot of different stuff. Lovely lunch today. Really
Are we concerned that Jerome Ford's not going to practice this week? But he's making positive steps.
I'm concerned if he's not practicing next week.
Like to me right now, and I was noticing Jordan Wilkins was getting the first team reps after Nick Chubb. Like I'm fine with him. The guy's rushed for 1,000 yards in the NFL and averaged 5 yards a carry. He's clearly in good shape. Nice ball to David Njoku there. He can pass protect. He can catch it. Like, I'm fine with that.
I want to see him Saturday.
Yeah,
and
I want to see him with the ones.
We saw him last week, but he'd been in town he'd been in Philly for like 48 hours.
Right. Like I don't need to see Nick.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him open the game at running back.
I don't need to see Nick Chubb do anything. I'm good, other than hit that steel foam thing. What do you got?
I don't know. That's from way downtown. And now Bubba's sitting right in front of him.
Oh, he really is. We're creating a little bit of a pressure-packed moment here.
Happy that Bubba doesn't have the boot on.
Yeah, me too.
What is that? Is that 67?
30. No.
57?
Uh,
no, that's 40.
It's right in front of the 40.
45?
So 39, so 49. It's right in front of the 40, isn't he? Yeah, about 45.
Yeah.
49, somewhere in that range. But these are the ones. These have to be automatic.
Oh, the spot is at the – I was adding the 17. The ball is placed there.
Yeah.
Right. As opposed, typically when you measure from the line of scrimmage, not 7 yards back. But so that's where that comes. So, yeah, working on that. Yeah, I think that big picture. Do you think at that running back position, we brought Jenkins in here. Is that something where we're paying close attention on cut down day?
Yes, that's the one position that I think whenever moves are made, we're looking at, we're checking out.
Philly.
We're seeing. Was that
Jets.
Austin Watkins? What a catch off of a ball from DTR. Mossed somebody out there.
I don't know. I need a rangefinder to
that
see.
That kid
over
is
there.
a beast. He even got Jim Schwartz came over and gave him a big 5 and a hug for that one. Austin Watkins just makes plays. I mean, I don't know if there's room on the roster for him, but boy, I'd like to see it.
Well, there is. You're just going to have to cut people you drafted.
Well, I think that's going to happen anyway.
Right, but it could be multiple.
But here's the thing. If Jakeem Grant is fully back, right, and he's a returner that is a difference maker, that's your and Goodwin is healthy,
Yeah.
like you're not carrying 7.
Well, hopefully there's going to be some sort of certainty on Goodwin soon, right?
Yes. No.
Not.
I'd like to see Gibbe with a hair coloring of that nature.
He'd look good in that.
He would look great in that.
We make the playoffs, you can do that.
We're making the playoffs, Gibby. What is it?
That's a crowd noise simulating
Crowd noise.
simulating a
By
hostile
the, by the
crowd.
way,
over there?
Big Thanos is doing an interview in the tent earlier today during availability. You see how tall that fence is.
That's right.
He just steps right over it when he's
Like
done.
big, sexy
We were
Kevin
Oh,
all like
Nash.
holding our breath a little bit, like, should we go help him?
No.
No.
He's good.
He's good.
He's good. Yeah. That's really one of the cool. Well, now we've flipped it. We're going the other way.
Good.
That was good.
That's pretty far.
That's a long
That's
kick.
a pretty far kick.
That was a big one. And he threw his thing after that. So that's it for today.
That's a wrap. It's such an interesting existence, isn't it? The kickers, the punters, like Hewlett. I've seen Charlie, he's walking around. There he is. Yeah. He's kind of walking around. Living his best life. Would feed that gun back in the old days.
I'm not a body language expert, but I don't see a lot of joy.
No. No, I would suggest that is absence of joy. Joyless. Yeah.
Watson down the field. Gets it right in there. Looked like to Amari again. It's either Amari or DPJ. I couldn't tell. It flashed over there. He's putting the ball into some tight windows. RD can move around a little bit.
Griff, go over to the whoever the coach is on the near sideline and just say, we're going to need you guys to get all on the other side so that Bo and Nathan can see. I'm kidding. Don't do that, Griff.
Griff was ready. I like the readiness. I'm going to go say something.
Yeah, he was ready. That's a big time job out of you. Willing to just that's what they try to do in the military.
Listen,
Don't think, just do.
Listen, right now we had a couple of flubs in the rundown. We have no water.
No, I haven't even seen him. I don't even know
that,
where Uno
that
is.
action right there.
Wait, where are the flubs in the rundown today?
No,
yesterday.
not today. Yesterday.
Oh, I was going to say.
You've
Why,
had
you did it today?
You've had some chat.
We had a little meeting.
Little
Did you see? I did a
We
stock
had a
chart.
little meeting.
I did a stock chart, and it was a big crash in the afternoon
I
yesterday.
said, I can
The
start
grift's
finding
on
you
the
for
rise,
every
though.
mistake.
Griff's on the rise.
Griff's on the rise.
He was
right
willing
there.
to take on the entire coaching staff so that we would have a clear view.
Which
That's a
is-
good job out of him.
Feels
The
appropriate.
loyalty is
All
all
right,
that
play
really
action.
matters.
Watson back. Fiery's on the right sideline.
what a
beautiful
go get
catch.
it.
Donovan
DPJ.
Peoples-Jones. First down, Browns. Looks like a little move the ball section. The good part about move the ball is now they're moving to where we can see.
Yeah, now they're throwing a little bit downhill. We're able
Are
to
we
see.
sure we're going to be able to see? We sure they're not going to keep walking down the field?
Yeah, these guys aren't.
Now they're
interested
moving
in
that
going
monitor.
anywhere.
I
That
can't have
monitor
that
is
TV
coming.
can't go.
Here comes that monitor.
You get that monitor right out of here.
Nothing positive comes from the TV monitor moving.
All right, here we go. Watson Under center, Chubb. Single back behind him. Chief in motion left to right. Across the formation to a wing on the right. A little short motion to get double wing with Jordan.
It's a
Hands it
handoff.
off.
Chubby.
Chubb down the right side for about 5 yards.
Just the
Taki
speed.
says, I was right there. Nothing to see here.
I was trying to get that through to my sixth graders last night of that Nick Chubb. Like, once you burst through, then burst for 20.
Yeah.
Keep going. Like you haven't done anything yet. They don't have the same heart. It's sad.
I hate to hear
Hate
it.
to see it. Hate to see it.
Look at Griff's up to accommodate our standing.
Yeah. So
I
we have
like
crowd noise going on the far field. We have some 11-on-11 work going on.
Looks like a second down here.
If you say so. Defense
Watson
really
in the
shuffling
shotgun.
around. Newsome.
Little inside handoff there to Jordan Wilkins around the right side. He's got a convoy in front of him. That might have been.
I like him.
That might have
like
been a
him.
house. I like him too.
I
A
like
little
what I've
Teller
seen.
and Posick leading
Yeah,
the way.
Posick. Yeah, that's the pin.
I like his.
That's
He's
the
got a
old
little
pin
juice.
pull there.
He's got a little juice to him.
Cracked down from the right edge of the line. You pull the right guard in the center out in front, and that's one of our big shotgun runs. Is that pin pull across the formation? Jordan Wilkins. He had nice patience there to let the blocks develop, and then the burst.
Yeah, it really exploded.
I'll say it again. The guy averaged 5 yards a carry for his career, over 200 carries in the NFL. Like, that's not a joke. That's not a
No.
fluke. That's legit.
Cade working on kickoffs now.
That was pretty good. That was like right
Down
at
to
the 1 inch line.
Yeah.
All right, Watson in the shotgun. Looks like empty. Quick game to the left. Nice pass to the sideline. Donovan Peoples-Jones called his name a lot today. DPJ Watson looked to be in a very nice rhythm on that one.
One big difference from this week to the previous practices is now you're getting like, that was 10 minutes of Deshaun Watson quarterback.
Yes.
You're not running
No.
guys in.
He's the
Like, you're just-
quarterback.
No, but I mean, like, just for the fans out there that come out, whoever's lucky enough to come these days, what is it, today, tomorrow?
Yeah.
That's it?
Thursday.
And Thursday, all right, so you have 3 left. The people over there, I mean, it's
They're-
like I said off the top of the show, this is an odd time for it to be training camp.
Yeah.
But the people that are here, and of course, mostly it's not children because most of the kids are in school, they're getting like a real NFL practice. You're
This
not getting a
is
training
this
camp
is the
practice.
latest I think we've had training camp open to the public because
Yeah.
normally you're done after the second game.
Yeah.
So Dobbs is in there now, and then DTR got like 1 set of reps. But that's it. There's not going to be a ton of reps going on.
Jonathan Kelly.
Man, a little John Kelly off the left side. Look at the voice out and about today.
Oh, the voice is great. How are the ponies? Got to
Can't-
know what's going on. It's a little humid. Make sure they're having water.
Yeah.
Keep them watered. Keep them fresh.
I like his hat, too.
Yeah.
Keep the sun out.
Keep the
Smart,
sun. No
smart.
doubt. Yeah, very smart.
Very smart. All right, we will have Juan Thornhill at the podium. Keep you updated on everything going on here at training camp. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Cleveland Brown being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Tide Cleaners has an incredible offer. Enjoy $8 off any order of $18 or more. Just mention Browns at drop-off. Tide Cleaners is your one-stop shop for all dry cleaning and laundry service needs. Visit TideCleaners.com to find a location nearest you. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details. And now let's head to the podium from earlier today. Juan Thornhill.
You're down.
This weekend?
I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun going out there, seeing a lot of familiar faces, like seeing your coaches and, you know, like your former teammates. It's going to be pretty fun out there, like getting out there and talking a little bit of trash, you know, make a couple plays. But, yeah, I'm excited for it.
You expecting to see 15 play?
I do. I mean, I think with Coach Reed, he has the history of, like, letting guys play that last game, usually like a half or something. But I don't think Pat will play that much. He probably play a couple reps. Hopefully we get back there to him a little bit and Coach Reed get a little scared and take him out. So I think we'll see him out there, but I don't know how long, though.
What's behind that? Why does Reed explain that to you guys, why he wanted you to play?
I mean, the more reps you get, the better, you know. So, like, the first game, you're basically just trying to get your feet wet a little bit. And then that last game, you're out there a little bit longer because you're preparing for the regular season. So, if you plan a full half, you might get like 20, 25 reps or something like that. So, that's his main reason behind that is getting guys reps.
Seeing how Kansas City's the team you guys are going to have to go through if you're going to get where you aspire to. How vanilla is it going to be, though, on Saturday? Even though you maybe want to go out there and have a little fun, talk some trash, whatever, but just how close to the vest do you guys have to kind of keep things?
I mean, honestly, it's whatever coach calls. Like, I think it's all about the mood, honestly. If he come out there and he just want to see, like, us compete, he might stay real vanilla and not really show anything. If he want to see what we can really, if we can understand our coverages, he might call a little bit more. So I really don't know what he's going to do, but hopefully he can call a decent amount of calls, you know, just to keep it real competitive.
So the last 2 weeks of camp, you will have played Philadelphia in practice against them and also played against Kansas City, two Super Bowl teams. What is the relevance of that?
I mean,
does it mean anything?
Yeah, it's huge. When you play against, like, one of the top teams, like it was, like you said, Philadelphia that made it to the Super Bowl, and in Kansas City that won the Super Bowl, you're playing against the best two teams technically in the NFL from last season. So it's a great view on how we can, like, work and better ourselves as a team, just being able to see the top competition like that for 2 weeks in a row.
How many times would you say you intercepted Mahomes in practice?
It depends on the year. Some years I'm getting him a lot, and then some years he get me. So there was one year I know I got him like almost every day. Honestly, yeah, it was. I think it might have been my rookie season. I was hot, like out there at camp. Probably, I led the team in interceptions by far.
So in 4 years, would you say a dozen times in practice?
Yeah, I would definitely say so.
Training camp.
Yeah, I would definitely say so.
How does he kind of use practice? I mean, if you're intercepting him all those times, like does he trying stuff that he would never try in a game? Like what is he doing? How is he using those reps?
Practice, you'll see some crazy stuff from Pat. You know, like when y'all see like the no look passes on TV in the game, it's just like amplified when you're in practice. It's like he's just trying to really test it out to see if he can do it and everything. And there's like videos of him throwing the behind the back passes. That's like a real thing in practice. So if they was to bring that out, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Like he always used practice as a way to better himself and to see if he can do certain things.
Having had the opportunity to go back and look at the practice tape against the Eagles, just how would you assess how you guys stacked up against them?
Oh yeah, I think we held our own. You know, we definitely played very well some days, and some days they got us. You know. But just looking at the film, I would say that we got a great team that can compete with anybody at this level.
Hey Juan, just seeing what Ronnie Hickman's done, he's gone out there, gotten 3 interceptions the last 2 games. Like as an undrafted guy, just what have you thought of him and what has he brought to the room?
I mean, the guy's a competitor. I mean, he's very smart, and it seems like he takes his game, like this game, very seriously. Like he's always like in the playbook, asking questions in meetings, and then when you put him on the field, it shows because like he had 3 interceptions, 2 in one game, and then 1 last week. So when you got a guy that's always around the football, it just shows how good of a player he really is.
That kind of player, like especially a guy who's undrafted, and I know Rodney's history with that too, does that like up the energy in the room for everybody when you have a guy coming in there and making the most of every opportunity like that?
I mean, it's great to see undrafted guys do that, but once you get in the room, we don't really think about if you're a drafted guy or undrafted. I mean, it was just if a team wanted you at a certain place, they'll get you, but you have great guys that go undrafted each and every year, so we really don't look into that undrafted and drafted situation.
Are you a believer though that somebody has a knack for that takeaways and everything?
Oh yeah, some people some people just have a knack for the ball. And the ball just finds them, and I think Ronnie is one of those guys. Even if he's not looking to make the play, the ball somehow falls in his arms. So I think he's one of those guys for sure.
Aside from his talent, what makes Mahomes what he is?
I mean, he's a competitor. Like, if y'all haven't watched it, that quarterback show on Netflix, I didn't even know that he was like that competitive. Like, I thought Pat was just going out there just playing football, not really talking. But I mean, it really showed in that show. That's what I think makes him different from a lot of other quarterbacks, because they see it as like a job, and he goes out there and just wanting to have fun with the game.
Who are you still most closest to on that Chiefs team?
That's hard. That's hard to just pick one person, because I was close with a lot of those guys out there. So I try to stay in contact with them as much as possible. So I really can't pick one individual player.
When last season ended, did you know you were probably moving on from there, or did you have to see it play out?
I mean, I kind of had a sense that it was a chance that I would be moving on, because we had they drafted a guy, Brian Cook, in the second round. And as the year went on, I just saw him getting better and better each and every week, and I just saw him keep on just like steadily just making plays. So I knew that, like, okay, this guy's not gonna stay here and play behind me for another 3 years if I sign back, because this guy's ready to play right now. So I kind of figured it was probably my time to move on.
Juan, they've been in 3 Super Bowls in the last 4 years. How long is it going to last? Do you think?
I never wish anything bad on them. But hopefully this was their last year, because I'm hoping that we can get there each and every year now.
It's practice and it's preseason, but when you're seeing the defense kind of come out there and have those explosive plays, how does that feel to see maybe what Jim Schwartz is trying to do on a small scale already?
I mean, it's crazy. Like, I was telling some of the cornerbacks that didn't even play, like, y'all really don't understand like how fast that D-line is getting back there. I don't really feel like I'm covering a lot. I feel like I'm taking 2 pedal steps and the ball's coming out. So I mean, it's an amazing feeling when guys are getting out there making a lot of plays, and it just shows how good this team really could be.
What's it like out there playing defense against Deshaun Watson?
I mean, it's great. Like I said, I see a lot of things in him that I saw in Pat. Like, they compete at a high level. Like, we talk trash each and every day. I'm gonna tell him I'm gonna pick him off a couple of times, and his goal is obviously to not throw interceptions to me. But Deshaun, he has all the traits of a great quarterback, and I'm excited to see him play this year.
Do you expect, as long as Reed and Mahomes are together, that they'll at least be there every year competing for Super Bowl?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just the culture over there is amazing, honestly. I don't think they'll ever fall off. Like, those guys, they take everything very seriously over there, and I think that they'll be competing each and every year for sure.
Juan, you talk a lot of trash on the sidelines when we're in practice.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think that's helped the identity of this defense, and is that something you brought over from Kansas City?
I really didn't talk too much in Kansas City. I mean, I'll talk sometimes, but like here, like, I just want to have a lot of fun, you know? When you
back at 30
each and every day, it just brings energy. If the offense is down and I'm talking trash to you, have no reason but to respond back and to compete each and every day. So that's what I'm here for, is to bring that energy each and every single day in practice.
Given the end of the last 2 seasons, can you bring a lot to this defense about the Bengals, given how much you played them and how big those games were?
Yeah, I definitely could bring a lot to it. I mean, because I played them at like the top level when they wanted to be at their best. But I'm not gonna really give out too much right now. Sure. But I definitely feel like I can help with that for sure.
But it's a real thing. Like,
yeah,
you think
it's a real thing.
Yeah.
You're up.
that all would look the same.
They'd all look
to the
same.
beginning.
Yep.
So that's what you're not going to get into the B, C, D, E, V, variations. But you'll be going through your basic stuff right now. Then when this gets all closed down, which will happen at the end of this week, then the real work will begin on everything that you're going to be doing for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is, we've talked about this before. Have you guys heard from Kansas City how they're treating this weekend? Have you seen any reporting on it?
They've played so far, so my guess
Their
is
starters have played at every preseason game.
they would continue to do so.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't know, because I'm telling you, every team is handling this differently, who's playing and who's not. So it's hard to say, what the approach could be. And honestly, I just want to see Deshaun throw it 25 times. That's what I'm kind of hoping for, nothing else. I know that's not probably how it's going to go, but I'd like to. That's about all you need.
Some more field goal, this time the full operation. Before it was just off of a tee, and you've got a pretty impressive audience list right there watching it.
Yeah, I would say that you probably do.
I think there are 3 cameras gathered behind.
3 cameras and some important people.
Some luminaries, dignitaries.
It's right down the Broadway.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess the idea is, though, this is how you manufacture some pressure, right?
Maybe it wasn't. He did not. His reaction to
He's
that
not
was
happy
not
with it.
great. And
it's hard from our vantage point because we're not right on it. We're just off it.
Can you tell the 2 kids that are standing there under it who are just shagging the balls, just give us –
I don't know that we want him.
Just a good
Maybe
or no
Uno
good.
should stand behind.
Well, he could. He could go stand in the corner
Uno,
right there.
go stand behind and then
stand
you
in the
give
corner
us,
and then give us the yes or no.
Give us the signal.
Is that going to get him in trouble?
I don't think so.
We'll say Gibby told him.
Uno. We'll
Be
go
discreet.
Discreet. So
maybe this.
Ear.
Maybe this.
Ear. No, just grab your ear. Good. And then if you look at us, not good.
All right, very good.
There it is.
All right, he's off. He's off. Yeah, I like that we went with the discreet. He's running now. Uno is running. Be very discreet, Uno. I'd stop running now. I wouldn't run anymore.
His running style is the opposite of Roger Craig's. For
I would
those
agree.
who get that reference.
Yeah.
Roger Craig ran with very high knees. Uno's knees maybe didn't get
Look
it.
at Dom.
Dom looking at it.
Dom.
Oh, God. Dom's going, what
No.
in the hell are
No,
you
he's
doing?
fine. He's fine. Oh, there he is.
All
Look
right,
at him. Look at him. All right, here we go.
All right, let's go. Dom does have he has other things on his plate.
Yep. This one's going to be right here from about 42 on the right hash.
All right. We are lining up. Charlie on the snap, Corey on the hold, and we are. Oh, mama!
What does that sign
I
mean?
just want to say.
You know what that sign meant.
I know what that sign meant, and you know what it meant. Let me just say something.
The stock through the roof right there.
The
What a
stock is through the
performance.
roof, but I also think it's possible that we need to pull him back.
Yeah, just come over here.
Just
to the
come
side.
over here a little closer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
okay.
I don't know. I don't want him to be removed of duties.
He's not going to be removed.
Nah.
He's just, there's everybody's. I mean, plenty of people are standing.
Look, the people behind
the people
kicker.
watching this are much more important than us. Ball up there.
Oh, now he just
Esteban,
forgot.
Esteban.
He just wasn't doing. I think this is what I would say though. Like, I would like Uno to come a little bit closer to us.
Bring him on back. Come on
Bring
back.
him on back, Esteban.
Come on back.
Come on
Esteban.
back.
You did good
You
work.
did good.
there.
You're good.
You did very
And
good work.
That's
there.
fine. That's good. You're good. Yep. That's good. Solid. Yep. Yep.
Good job.
Yep. Great job.
Killed
good
it.
effort. Good effort.
You killed
That's
it, really.
That was the right timing on us. We got in. Did what we needed to do, and then you're out. That's the way you got to do that.
So this is obviously a public practice. There will be reports on this, and I would say that there is right now we're going through something, and I feel like we're coming to a point where there needs to be something. There needs to be something, either a complete change in the trajectory of what we're seeing, or somebody else, because that was a struggle, unfortunately. And Cade is so talented, but it's like a golfer. Justin Thomas is one of the best golfers in the world.
It's Rory, the
mental on the you hope that you can get through it, you can work through it, but it feels right now like we're in a little bit of a tough period.
I would agree. All right, so much more to come. Actually, there is so much more to come.
We have 2 more segments.
Really?
We got to.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You're safe. You're safe. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
.53 and we're out. We're stacking. You are up.
And be sure to catch the Kevin Stefanski Show tonight at 7 with C and Gerard on the University of Hospital's Cleveland Browns Radio Network. Coach, of course, will join. After all, it is his show. Denzel Ward as well.
Yeah, with an exclusive with Gibbe.
Gibbe one-on-one with D. Ward?
Yeah.
I like it. The Warden.
At some point during this season, I will have more than a 2-minute heads up that I'm doing these.
It's just sit down and go?
Well, I had 3 scheduled interviews for the same time.
he comes down and he's like, I got this, this, and this. And I'm like, well, I can tell you that's probably not going to fly.
It feels like we're having some scheduling snafus.
Boy.
That's what I would say.
Well, and
Look
we
at
even
the
got
nation.
and
oh
we
my
even
God.
got.
Look at the nation.
Look at the shades.
Good
Baco
Lord.
Nation. Ugh.
Stop it.
Sun
with the
kiss.
shades
Look at
and
that
all
glow.
of that.
I need some
He looks
sunglasses.
great.
He looks like he just got back from Hawaii, from like that's where he went on his honeymoon.
Yeah. Well, he deserves that.
He's got that sun.
You guys are not sunglass guys all the time.
I am if I actually had them. I've lost 2 pairs so far on these trips.
I don't. I either go a hat.
Yeah.
And when I wear a hat, I don't typically love to wear sunglasses.
Okay.
Or I wear the sunglasses.
I would say I'm in sunglasses 99.9% of the time I'm outside.
Like driving here, I was wearing them.
Yeah.
I found, and I don't know if this is just me making it up, but I found, and probably the main reason that I stopped wearing them as much as I used to, and obviously I'm not golfing now, but I found that I saw the lines better and red greens better without my shades on.
I believe that. I suck at golf, so it wouldn't really
Like a
matter
lot of
too
pros,
much.
you didn't see any who wears shades.
I don't like wearing
Ricky,
sunglasses when I golf.
But there aren't many.
Not many. Yeah.
No.
I think practice is done today.
And
kids.
Ricky's, to be fair, it's a wonderful resurgence for him, but
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
searching for a long time.
David Duvall
Oh,
is the most famous
the
to
specs.
wear the he wore the Oakleys.
Oakleys.
Yeah.
He also didn't look at the ball when he hit it.
Is that the real truth?
Yeah.
Was that is that I don't know. Is that
him
real?
and Annika Sorenstam? Annika Sorenstam, where they would turn their heads with their swing. So when they actually hit the ball, their faces they weren't looking at the ball.
Wasn't that funny? Because what they tell you though is like, do not lift your head. That's like when you first teach kids how to play golf, keep your head down.
And Annika Sorenstam did it at the peak of her absolute power. She was dominant.
About as good as it gets. I'd never seen until this weekend the Scheffler Shuffle.
You never noticed his feet?
No.
Every shot.
I don't watch enough golf. I mean, I watch the majors.
Yeah,
I'm
his
not watching
right
the other
foot
stuff.
slides back. I
Slides
do that
all the way.
sometimes, but not every shot.
Yeah, like he does it every shot.
It's wild.
Crazy. So, yes, it does look like we are wrapping up here this practice and shutting it down for the day.
Speaking of golf, I got out there yesterday with the great AP.
The great AP?
Yeah.
I see he's
Boys
moved
out.
on nicely
Yeah.
today. Look at.
Ask him what he shot yesterday at Boulder Creek.
Let me guess. I'm going to say 73.
Did he already tell you this?
No.
No, we did
Good
not
guess.
talk about it.
No,
Very
we
good
didn't
guess.
talk about it at all.
That was the right number.
Pretty
Had a
spectacular.
couple of birdie putts that could have dropped. It's just a tough course. There's not a lot of quote-unquote traditional what you would call birdie holes on that course. It is a tough
That's over
course.
by
I love
my neck of
Bayou
the woods,
Streets,
right?
bro.
Yeah, that layout is pretty sweet.
I would love to see that course. Sometimes you see clubs like get a second course.
Yeah.
I would love to see that
2
become
minutes,
the
2
second
minutes.
course of a club where it is maintained to those standards because it's the best layout in the city. I mean, you're talking about number 9 is 460, second shot all over water to the green. Like, you've got 600-yard par 5s. You have an island green off of a cliff from about 140 on
cool.
17. You have a peninsula green, much like at Eastlake. That's a 160-ish shot over water. But if you go too long, you're also in the water because the green kind of juts out.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's so many cool shots. They have a par 5 with split fairways where if you go left, it's really narrow, but if you get it up there in the fairway, it's like an easy shot to hit it in 2. If you go right,
So
it's
cool.
much longer. They have some risk reward. It's awesome.
That's very cool.
Love
Very
that
cool.
course.
Practice wrapping up, has wrapped up here in Berea. 2 left. The nation getting loose.
Yeah, it's getting real
Needs
loose.
to.
What are you getting loose for there,
Get limber, nation. Oh, I don't want to hear that.
Nobody wants.
No one wants to hear that.
I don't want you to be robbed of any joy.
Can't have you hurting at all.
Oh, by the way, for the people, Harrison Bryant out here
1 minute,
taking
1 minute.
practice in
Oh!
today, which we have not. I don't know that we've seen him.
We
in
have
a
not
while.
seen him for a very
So
long
that's
time.
nice.
Yeah, that is very good to see. The next level will take you through the rest of the afternoon. Thanks for listening, everybody. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.